Really quickly before the video starts, this is not my first time uploading this video. YouTube just seems to have a problem with melanins who won't bow down and kiss their white trash ass while selling them their soul. And I have a problem with white trash like y'all, YouTube. So, when we go ahead and get into it, we can actually see the first time we uploaded this video, it got over 100 views, and the other one got 27 views. But mysteriously enough, YouTube next day says, oh, let's keep the one at 27 views. The one that's at 100 views, though, let's take it down. And they seem to do this with all my videos, which reach over 100 views. We have to constantly re-upload to them. So this is like our 10th time uploading this video, and we are building a case against these racist ass crackers, because the same reason and same way they have a problem, we have a problem. Stop fucking with me. What is up? What is up? We are here with the skill tree for AMON the Destroyer on Borderlands 4, which we got the trailer for yesterday. Um, that was cute. So, we did do a video going over that yesterday. It was uploaded around 8 p.m., but it should be up on the channel. A little bit of a later video. It is just me, so, you know, it's me doing the editing, me doing the recording, me doing the uploading, and making the thumbnail. So, bear with me. Um, Solo can be the best sometimes, though, right? If you play Borderlands, you know that. Especially if you played Borderlands 1 and 2, you know that solo can in fact be the best sometimes. So we're going to go ahead and go over Amon's 3 skill trees. The blue one being Revenge, the green one being Neuromechanical, and the red one being my favorite, Onslaught. And that's the one we're going to start with. So if we look over here, Onslaught is one of Amon's action skills, and it reads that Amon overloads his iron making, gaining a continuous post-protection recovery. That off rip sounds OP in itself, okay? Bonus firearm burning damage and increased movement speed. Nice, we like that. Press button to launch Rocket Fist, rushing forwards to the target enemy and causing a burning melee attack damage within the close range, while causing the enemy to build a map? While causing the enemy to build a map. Boss enemies cannot be adjusted, and there is a chance of misidentification. Whatever that means. We're gonna guess those are some buffs. So, that's what we're gonna go ahead and guess. So, or debuffs for the enemy. We can see Rocket Fist initial damage is 239. Shields restore 10%. Bonus burn damage is 25%. The movement speed increases 30%. Duration lasts for 18 seconds. The cooldown time is 50 seconds. So off rip, after seeing the trailer, Amon kind of feels like a male siren. You know, he's got elemental abilities. He's got even the Rocket Fist, which going to Borderlands 3, Amara. So, you know, he is seeming like a male siren. He does actually. Appreciate you, Faceless. And so, you know, when we take a look at that, we actually do notice that Vex doesn't really get access to fire, right? But Amon doesn't seem to get access to radiation or there's one more element he doesn't seem to get access to as far as we can tell, which is, you know, but he's still seeming like a male siren to me at the moment. So let's go ahead and get into his abilities. The first one is a passive called Heavy Plate. This increases Amon's maximum shield capacity and maximum super shield capacity. So I'm guessing this is the super shield. You get somewhere you get a super shield apparently, and this can have 5 skill points put into it. So we can see you get 4% shield capacity per point and 8% super shield capacity per point. So I don't know what the super shield is. Maybe it's the shield we see him holding. Um, it could be that. It could be that. It very well full on 1000% could be that. Moving on to the next passive, this is Chaos, which can also get 5 points in it, and this allows Amon to gain melee critical strike chance. So obviously you're going to be putting 5 points into this melee critical hit strike chance plus 5 per point for about 25 to 30% crit chance when it's all said and done. That's pretty huge. Burning Heart is the next passive. You can put 5 points into it, and this increases Amon's burning damage. The burn damage is 5% per level, that is per point. Once again, you put 5 points into that. So off rip, these are seeming like must-haves, and he does seem like their version of Doomfist. He seems more like Doomfist than Amara. You know, the super shield, the fist, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I did not think that I would be playing multiple base characters, but so far I do want to play Vex and Amon. I don't really care about Rafa, but I do want to play Vex and Amon. I'm finna play both DLCs too. Driving Force is the next passive, and this is a killing skill. Increases Amon's shield recovery rate and movement speed for a period of time. So shield recovery rate is plus 5% per layer, movement speed is plus 3%, and then you have the overlay duration, which lasts for 15 seconds, and it can stack up to 3 layers. So he's got hella survivability between driving force and heavy plate plus onslaught. You can see he's already got a ton of survivability, a little bit of damage, but more so survivability of like a brawling tank. You can definitely tell from that first line of passive. Moving down to the second row, we are going to take a look at Titanium Alloy Finger Tiger. This is a passive which can put 5 points into, and this increases Amon's melee damage and skill damage. So there we go, there's some big damage coming in. As we see, you get 5% melee damage per point once again, and 3% skill damage per point. So big damage right there. Combined that with this, you know, that's some huge damage. After that, we get access to our first augment, Thermal Diffusion. And this makes it to where Rocket Fist now has 2 modes, okay? Increasing its radius, so damage, and dealing bonus damage based on Amon's maximum shield capacity. Bro, what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what? Does, does that include the super shield? Press keybind, Rocket Fist will deal freezing melee attack damage. Rocket Fist radius plus 100%? Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Bonus damage, 20% of maximum shield capacity. So shields that take all your health and take you down to 1 health, those are gonna be meta on this dude. Okay, okay, those are gonna be meta on this dude. But does it also count towards his super shield, or is it just his regular shield capacity? It doesn't say super shield, but it does just say shield capacity. So maybe it's just regular shield, but it could include super shield too, which, you know, he's seeming pretty strong. We're definitely going to be playing him. Next passive is a punch to the stomach. You can put 3 points into this, and combat damage and artillery damage have a chance to inflict weakness on the enemy for a period of time. Weakened enemies deal reduced damage and take more damage. So, embrittlement from My Hero Ultra Rumble. Nice. Weaknesses are affected by status effect duration and are considered status effects. Okay, melee rate plus 20%, gun rate plus 10%, and damage caused by enemies minus 40%. Yo, if you're dying as Amon in the battlefield, let him go. Put him down. There's no reason you should be dying off these abilities alone. This dude is insane. This dude is insane. Okay, I'm loving the Todoroki aspect. You must be insane thinking I'm not gonna play this dude. Okay? Borderlands 1 and 2 we played multiple characters. Borderlands pre-sequel we played multiple characters. Borderlands 3, doo-doo. This game, looking like we finna play multiple characters. I'm finna say, I'm a Siren Man. 2 DLC characters we know nothing about. I hope they keep it that way till day before of release if they wanna do some teasing about them. And Amon. I'm planning on playing 4 characters so far. That's crazy. Okay? And after that, we get access to our next augment, Pyroclastic. While on the attack, Amon fully regenerates his health and shields, oh my, and is surrounded by a Forge Storm, dealing burning status effect damage over time to nearby enemies. What? The Forge Storm DPS is 40 per second. The active skill duration recovery is 20%. The Forge Storm damage multiplier is 20% per kill. Per kill. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Maximum damage multiplier 200%. Yeah, this augment might be better than this augment. Okay, right now, this augment might be better than this augment. This is kind of broken. Maximum damage multiplier, 200%. Who are we, Doomfist? Yeah, y'all, a lot of y'all probably thought I was gonna say one punch, man. Come on now, be for real. Next passive is Master the Storm. This is a passive you can put 5 points into, by the way. And this increases AMON'S status effect damage and duration. So your fire damage is going to be doing more, which, you know, we got the burn damage. So then it's also going to be lasting longer, which, you know, we got the burn damage again. So these are seeming like peanut butter and jelly, to be honest. It really is. And it's just going to be cracked at the end of the day. You're going to be diving in, just punching the hell out of people for massive elemental damages. We can see you get 5% both status effect damage and duration per point. So combine that with this, especially if you're doing, you know, combine that with this, it does seem like you want to do fire. And bye-bye enemies. Okay? On to the third row, we get a look at strongest defense. This is a passive which you can put 5 points into. Amon gains a super shield when dealing melee damage. Bro. What? Amon gains a super shield when dealing melee damage. There's no cooldown on this? Wait. There's no limit to this? So, I punch something, do AoE damage, get a ton of super shield, do it again, get a ton of... No. He's seeming broken on paper. on paper, he seems busted. Oh my gosh. Wow. Um, appreciate you, Faceless. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Moving on to the next passive. This is an impulse. You can put 5 points into it. When Amon causes gun damage, his active skill cooldown rate is increased for a period of time. Active skill cooling rate plus 0.5% per layer. Okay, so remember we had the layers somewhere. We had the different layers. You can have like up to 3 layers somewhere. We seen it earlier. So that's per layer. Stack duration is 20 seconds, and maximum stacks is 20. Okay, so a little bit of cooldown time. His cooldown time is a long time considering that you have to dive in with your fist. 50 seconds does seem like a long time. That's damn near a minute. Um, I, let's be honest. So it either has to be super strong, or Bullet Storm is the next passive though. Put 5 points into it, and this makes it when Amon applies a status effect, his gun damage is increased for a period of time. You can see the gun damage is plus 1% per layer. Stack duration is 10 seconds. Maximum stacks is 5. You can also see that off rip they want you to really preferably build melee damage with this build. Like, I wouldn't be going into gun damage with this build at all, you know. After that, we got Steel Forging. This a 1 point passive, so that must be strong. And this makes it where after Amon activates the Forging skill, he will be temporarily immune to all damage. Bro, what? For 6 seconds? After Amon activates his Forging skill, he will be temporarily immune to all damage. Maximum power! Dude, that is crazy. Wow. He's strong as fuck on paper, yo. He's broken. Okay? Next passive is Bloodthirsty. You can put 5 points in. I see life still. When Amon's shield is broken, he gains Bloodlust for a period of time, increasing his reload speed and gaining lifesteal. Bloodlust will also be automatically activated when the active skill is activated. You get a reload speed boost of 7% per point. You get lifesteal of 3% per point, and then you get for a duration of 8 seconds. So you get a little AoE fist. You already have a self heal in your kit through Pyroclastic Augment, and now you get lifesteal through Bloodthirsty, and then you got shield regeneration when dealing melee damage. Amon is a straight brawler, nigga. It's like, what? Fallen Frost is the next augment. Press button and immediately after launching Rocket Fist, and Amon will use a follow-up attack, causing a large area of freezing melee attack damage in front of Amon. Non-boss enemies with less than 25% total health will be killed immediately. The follow-up attack damage is 491. I still think Pyroclastic Augment is the best augment so far. I think the maximum damage multiplier of 200%. You get a Forge Storm doing some damage per second. You get offensive and defensive damage through Pyroclastic Augment. Like, Fallen Frost is cool and all, but I'm not giving up Pyroclastic just to do an ice attack. Just like there's another ice attack somewhere which seems kind of weak. Yeah, no. this is what we're doing, okay? After that, we got Violence. This is a passive which you can put 5 points into. When Amon activates the Forging skill, he will enter a frenzy state for a period of time, gaining immunity to frostbite and slow damage, while his gun and melee damage gain damage. So he gets a bonus frost damage of 6%. So if you're building ice, you can increase your frost damage, so that's pretty good, right? Moving on to the next line, Full of Energy is a passive worth 5 points. Increase Amon's maximum health capacity. The higher his health, the more melee damage he causes. You get a max health capacity increase of 6% per point, as well as melee damage plus 6% when health is full. So keep that in mind. Your health has to be full, but self regeneration, AoE damage, lifesteal, easy. When Amon's shield is broken, oh sorry, Frost Breaks is the next passive. This has 3 points. And when Amon's shield is broken, it partially restores its shield and detonates, dealing cryo damage to all nearby enemies and freezing them. Nice. So you can still pick up some ice damage through passives and not just an augment, which, you know, that's kind of great. That's huge, Faceless. It is. It is. I thought you had to only get an augment up till this point to get ice damage, and it's good to know that you can get the ice damage and become a little more like Todoroki through a damn passive. That's pretty great. Moving on to the next passive, this only takes 3 points too, or has a maximum of 3 points, and this is only Blood Red. I'll take you with ketchup. This is a kill skill. When Amon kills an enemy while in a frenzy, the duration of the frenzy will be partially restored and the bonus frost damage will be increased. So remember, you got frenzy when you activate the skill, and you get bonus frost damage, and then you get some frost damage through frost breaks, and it looks like the duration recovery is plus 3 seconds. The bonus damage is plus 20% per skill, with a maximum bonus of 200%. So damage is looking pretty great. Unfortunately, we do only have 40 points. But if I was to make a build right now, obviously, um, if I was to make a build right now, I think you start with this kill skill, should recover rate, movement speed, maximum number of layers. I think you get those. I think you go ahead and get Burning Heart, plus 5, right? Pyroclastic is going to be the augment we get, but I also think you get Chaos times 5. Amon gains melee critical strike chance, as mentioned earlier, right? We're then able to go ahead and get that augment, which it still doesn't seem to be working, but our augment is Pyroclastic. And after Pyroclastic, we're going to go ahead and put 5 points into Titanium Alloy Finger, right, to increase that melee damage, and I don't think we need, well, yeah, we do want this, actually. We want 5 points into there to pair with this, remember. Obviously, we're going to get this. This is just, Amon becomes completely immune to all damage for 6 seconds. That's so huge. In games, 6 seconds can feel like 10 minutes sometimes. So, yeah, we don't really need Bullet Storm, and we don't really need Impulse, but at the same time, this mentions when Amon causes gun damage, so he only has to shoot, right? But I'm gonna go for the Super Shield and probably put 2 points into this and split them up a little bit, maybe. Unless I have to go all the way to get to the next tree, which We're gonna put 5 points into Bloodthirsty, obviously. And then we will also go ahead, put a couple points in here, because we do want to do the Fire and Ice. We can see we're at 42 of 49, so I just do this. And you don't even get your capstone, which is, you know, well, we have 4 more, right? Activating kill skill, so we can get that. What was this? Maximum health capacity. This is also pretty good. Increases maximum health capacity. The higher its health, the more damage. But this is also good when Amon causes melee damage. There's a chance to activate a killing skill. But more damage, you know, if you give yourself more damage and activate the kill skill, then if you give yourself more damage and get the kill, then it doesn't matter because your kill skill's still finna activate. So I still think that full of energy is better than, you know, the other one we were just going over. And then we get access to our first capstone, right? And this is Frostblade. Scorching Smash is now Frostblade. Where do you get a move called Scorching Blast? No one knows where Scorching Blast even comes from. Yeah, right. They just be saying stuff. Just throwing words out. Where the hell is this? Scorching Smash is now Frostblade. Hold button to swing a giant forged axe. Sending a wave of forging ice that deals icy melee damage and freezes enemies it passes through. Enemies killed by Frostblade will explode, dealing frost damage. Forging wave damage 442, detonation damage 252. Cooldown seconds is 90. So am I getting rid of my fist for an axe? It says Scorching Smash now becomes Frostblade, but where is Scorching Smash? I don't know. No move called Scorching Blast yet. Okay. We can move on. But that's the build. That's how I'd use my first 49 points. I think this is pretty nice, actually. I think this is pretty good build right there. You know, I want to start off with the damage into some damage and survivability. But yeah, that is what I think. So let's go on to the next tree. Burn the Barrier. This is a passive. The higher Amon's shield value is, the higher his firing rate and status effect will be. So this is a gun passive and you get +5 to it. Then we get our next augment, Force of Nature, which is pretty cool. When launching an onslaught, causing gun damage to an enemy will put them into a ready state for a period of time. When they die or are damaged by forging skill, they will detonate, causing burning damage to nearby enemies. You can see detonation damage is 673 per stack ready to go. Duration is 10 seconds. Melee explosion multiplier is 50%. And the maximum number of layers to be sent is 10. Whatever they mean by layers. Okay. Whatever they mean by layers. After that, we got Into Battle. 5 points can go into this passive. AMON'S damage dealt and damage reduction increase based on distance from the enemy. The closer the enemy, the higher the bonus. Damage caused plus 5% when close. Damage reduction plus 14% when close. So, okay, you do gotta be in close, so that's good to know. You can get some extra damage and survivability, actually. Moving on to the next row. Crippling Blow is a 3-point maximum passive. Gun critical hits have a chance to inflict weakness on enemies for a period of time. Weakened enemies deal reduced damage and take more damage. Weakness are affected by status effect duration and are considered status effect. Application rate is 8% per point. Damage caused by enemies is minus 40%. Damage taken by enemies is plus 20%, and duration is 8 seconds. So you don't really know how the skill trees are finna work, but clearly we're finna have more than 49 points. Rearm is the next passive. 3 points can go into it maximum. When AMON uses melee attack to cause damage, some of his current gun's ammunition will be replenished. So, wow, that's a skip. Omen is the next passive. Kill skill. Increase AMON's melee damage and maximum shield capacity for a period of time. Melee damage is plus 1% per layer. Maximum shield capacity is plus 2%. And overlay duration is 20 seconds. Maximum number of layers is 5. I don't know what they mean by layers. You got 20 layers, you got 5 layers, you got 3. I don't know. Next row, Deadly Flare is a 3-point passive. When AMON kills a weakened enemy, the enemy will explode, dealing burning melee damage to nearby enemies. Pretty nice. Rushing Lava is the next capstone. Scorching Smash's radius is increased in stores damage. After a delay, fire breaks out at the feet of up to 3 enemies. The Pyre deals additional burning melee damage based on the damage stored by Scorching Smash, splitting the damage among the remaining targets. Radius is 33% and damage storage is 40% of the damage dealt. So not even 50. Next route, Dragon's Breath is the first passive, 5 points. When AMON activates his gun, his next gun bullet is converted to incendiary damage, staggering enemies damaged and increasing damage dealt. Boss enemies cannot be staggered, but villain enemies have a chance to be staggered. The damage increases 20%, keep in mind. 5 points can go in this. You then get access to the next augment, Explosive Fist of Rage. When launching a fierce attack, the effect rate of AMON's status is increased. Lightning wave damage 190, status effect rate plus 30%. Okay. Where's the lightning wave coming from? Okay. Catastrophe is a passive which can have 5 points into it. And when AMON applies electric shock to enemies, Its critical hit rate is increased for a period of time. When AMON inflicts burn on an enemy, its critical hit damage is increased for a period of time. Both effects can be stacked independently. Okay. Next row, Explosive Aegis. According to AMON's shield value, his stats affect damage and artillery damage is increased. The fuller his shield, the stronger the effect. Oh my. He's so strong on paper. Rock Fist. When AMON causes melee damage, a certain percentage of the cooldown time of the forging skill is restored. Melee attacks will double this effect. Forging skill cooldown recovery 2%. Trial is the next passive. AMON deals increased melee damage to enemies with less than 50% total HP. Melee damage is plus 7%. Get access to a capstone Storm Guillotine. Scorching Smash is now Storm Guillotine. Hold button to swing a giant forged sword, launching a forged wave that hits all enemies it passes through. Deals electric melee damage each time you hit an enemy. You will recover the active skill cooldown and active skill duration. Time and artillery cooldown time. Forging wave damage, active skill cooldown, duration. Damn, 90 seconds is crazy. Damn. You then get a 1-point passive Electronic Flame. When AMON burns his enemies, he also electrocutes them. When AMON electrocutes an enemy, it also burns them. Cooldown 2 seconds. Oh damn, that sucks that there's a cooldown on it. But that's the red tree. That tree is fire. Yeah, that tree is tough. That tree is tough. Okay.